6 episodes of enthusiasm. Now the honest part. This is the episode where I tell you what actually works, what actually breaks, and what I'd skip entirely. Because if you've watched the first 5 and thought, that sounds great, this is the one where I explain what I really mean by great, and what I don't. This is the arc closer. What actually works, where it falls down, and the setup I actually landed on after 6 episodes and 2 weeks of real use. No hype, no defensiveness either. Just what I'd tell a friend who asked me whether to bother. I'm Leah. This is Claude Unlocked, episode 6 of the design arc. Here's the frame before we start. I've spent 5 episodes telling you what this product can do. That's fine. That's what the arc was for. But if the arc closes there, it reads like marketing, and I don't think that's what you subscribed for. So this episode is the debt I owe you. The truth about what this tool is and isn't, after actually living with it. This is the episode I'd want to watch before buying anything. Start with what actually works. 4 things. First drafts. The blank page problem, which is the most expensive problem in knowledge work, is functionally gone. Second, design system consistency. Once it's loaded, every project from then on feels like the same brand, across dozens of projects with 0 effort. Third, structured deliverables. Decks, one-pagers, landing pages, internal tools. Anything with a clear shape, Claude Design produces fast and good. Fourth, the Claude code handoff. I talked about this in episode 4. It's the thing that changes the whole argument about what this product is for. These 4 are what I use it for, weekly. Here's the single biggest win I've noticed, in plain terms. Before Claude Design, I spent 3 days making a pitch deck look okay. After Claude Design, I spend 30 minutes making a pitch deck look right. The delta isn't speed, it's the bar that moved. My pitch decks used to be acceptable, now they're considered. And the difference between acceptable and considered matters more than the 3-day saving, because considered is what gets second meetings. Now the failures, 5 of them, all hit in my first 2 weeks of real use. Expect to hit all of them yourself. 1. Iteration fidelity. Sometimes Claude fixes things you didn't want fixed. You ask for a tighter layout, you get a tighter layout plus 3 color changes you didn't request. 2. Original creative direction. It executes brilliantly. It does not invent. If you don't have a point of view, it gives you a competent, unremarkable output. 3. Image generation. The layouts are strong. The images inside the layouts are weaker than the layouts themselves. 4. Typography edge cases. Custom fonts sometimes get mangled on export, especially into Canva. 5. Complex data visualization. It cannot actually read a spreadsheet and make a good chart. Not yet. The failure that matters most, and the one I'd want you to understand before you buy into the arc, is this. Claude Design has competent taste. It does not have distinctive taste. Every first draft looks like a well-designed first draft. That's the ceiling. If you want work that looks like nobody else's work, Claude Design can't give you that on its own. You have to supply the distinctive part. The tool handles execution. The tool does not handle distinction. That's the single most important thing to internalize before deciding how much of your design life to hand over to it. 5 things I would not use Claude Design for yet. Brand identity from scratch. It needs references to start, and your brand is the thing references are supposed to extend, not the thing they replace. Editorial design. Anything with long-form reading, heavy typography, and narrative flow gets flattened. Print critical work. Export fidelity is inconsistent, which is fine for digital but brutal for print runs. Documents over about 15 pages. It loses structure beyond that. Motion or animation. Out of scope entirely. Knowing what to skip is most of the skill of using this tool well. Here's the setup I actually use, day to day. 4 rules. Not a method, just what's survived the first phase of real production work. 1. Design system locked. 3 references, loaded once, never replaced without reason. 2. Claude design for the first draft, never the last. It's a drafting tool, not a finishing tool. 3. A human taste pass, 15 minutes every time before I send anything to anyone. That's where my brain has to stay in the loop. 4. The right export for the right downstream. Canva for team edits, Claude Code for the build, PDF for the client, PPTX for the presenter. Steal the setup, adapt it, make it yours. The question everyone asks, and the one I've been asked most this week, is it worth it? Yes, easily. If you're making decks, one-pagers, or landing pages with any regularity, Claude Design replaces a class of work that used to cost real hours. Not a miracle, not a silver bullet, not a replacement for taste, judgment, or distinctive thinking, but a real shift in what a non-designer can ship and a real saving in what a designer has to spend on execution. Yes, get it. Use it inside the rules we just talked about. Here's what this means above the tool itself. The floor of design just moved up. Every non-designer now ships work that would have needed a designer 2 years ago. That's a structural change in what professional work looks like, not just a feature update to one product. The ceiling of design is still taste. The ceiling is still the people who know what should be made, who can hold a vision, who can rule things out. That skill hasn't disappeared. If anything, it's more valuable because now it's the only part of the work that isn't commoditized. The floor moved up, the ceiling moved up further. If you take one thing from this arc, from all 6 episodes, take this. Competent design is now free. Distinctive design is still yours. That's the arc in one line. The skill hasn't moved. The execution got automated. The taste still has to come from somewhere, and that somewhere is you. The tool is a lever. It multiplies what you already have. If you bring nothing to it, it returns nothing. If you bring distinctive thinking, it multiplies that thinking into more formats faster than you could ever have produced alone. That's 6 of 6. The design arc is a wrap. Episode 1 covered what Claude Design is. Episode 2 taught you the brief. Episode 3 explained why the design system is the real moat. Episode 4 walked through the export pipeline. Episode 5 built a pitch deck end to end. And this one closed the loop with the honest audit. Next up in 48 hours is Paid .04, the content engine, which returns us to the paid arc. Subscribe if you want to see that one land. Here's the whole arc in one slide. Save this. Use it for decks, one-pagers, landing pages, prototypes, structured layouts. Skip it for brand identity from scratch, editorial design, print critical work, long documents, motion or animation. The setup, references loaded first draft only, taste pass every time, export to the right downstream tool. Screenshot this slide. It's the closest thing to a field guide for the entire arc. Your homework, and the most important one of the arc. Tell me what broke for you, what actually worked, what you shipped, what you wouldn't do again. The comments on this episode are going to write the next thing I do about Claude Design, because your experience across dozens of use cases is wider than mine across one. Bring the honest version. The bragging is fine. The complaints are better. I read every one. That's the episode. See you in the next one.